Here are some reasons why Bianca Ojukwu may be well suited to handle the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. 1. Diplomatic experience. She has served as Nigeria's ambassador to Ghana and Spain, giving her valuable experience in international relations and diplomacy. 2. International exposure. Her time as a beauty pageant title holder.
Next contestant, ladies and gentlemen, the most beautiful girl in Nigeria. Closer to me. Now, you have just returned from Singapore for modeling classes and grooming classes and finishing school, and I heard through the grapevine that you even got a certificate in Singapore. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right.
Now, having been to these classes in the past few weeks and you've been doing a lot of traveling, do you think you're a different woman today than you were, say, 3 months ago?
I wouldn't exactly say I'm a different woman now. I can just say I've improved. I've always wanted to go to Singapore, and the trip gave me an insight into the Oriental way of life, and it's really broadened my perspective.
Now, what is the beauty pageant industry like in Singapore?
Pardon?
The pageant industry, what is it like in Singapore?
It's very different from what it is here. There it's more of a regular thing. It's a form of entertainment, whereas here it happens maybe 2 or 3 times in a year. In Singapore, in the time I was there, I attended about 5 pageants.
5 pageants in 2 weeks. I have something for you. Now, Miss Peru over here, where is she? Now, Peru, she took part in the mother-daughter pageant, and she won the look-alike contest with her mother. Now, I have been approached by an international organization, this mother-daughter pageant, and I have decided that you and your mother will represent Nigeria at the pageant. What do you think your father would say when he finds you and your mother taking part in the pageant in Hawaii in 3 months' time?
Oh dear, we'd both have to look for accommodation elsewhere.
No. Not that bad, but thank you very much, Bianca. Thank you.
And her work in various countries have likely broadened her understanding of different cultures and global issues. 3. Political savvy. As a former presidential advisor and politician, she has a solid grasp of political dynamics and negotiation skills. 4. Legal background. Her legal training and experience would be assets in navigating complex international agreements and treaties.
We all in this ministry would be keying into the 4 tenets of the foreign policy thrust of the president, being democracy, strengthening democratic institutions, especially around the African continent, development, keying into the African continental free trade area to harness our immense economic potentials, and of course taking advantage of Nigeria's demography. As you all know, 70% of our population is under the age of 43. So that's a huge demographic, and we fully intend to harness the immense potentials at their disposal to ensure that our country gets that burst of creative talent, of skills, of the vibrant energy of youth and what they bring to every dynamic country. Most importantly, we intend to key into the president's initiatives regarding the diaspora. We all know how strategic our diaspora population is. I mean, the diaspora remits 22 billion. And you can see what we can achieve if we leverage on their economy and the foreign direct investment that they can help engineer and drive. Something that is very important, I think, to most of us here, and I say this because this ministry has a crop of some of the most dedicated officers. I have worked with many of them, and they are dedicated to the advancement of the foreign interests of this country. And they are also dedicated, and I saw during my tenure as an ambassador to the Kingdom of Spain, really what they were able to bring to bear with very limited funding, and how they were able to intervene for the benefit of our citizens abroad. That's a very, very important aspect for us, to ensure that our embassies, our missions really abroad, are run more efficiently, to ensure that they're able to provide greater services, seamless services to our citizens, and also to ensure that we're able to come to the aid of our citizens abroad in distress, wherever they may be. So I think essentially this keys into and aligns with the President's foreign policy objectives. He today made it clear that we're facing challenging times, but if we all join hands, commit ourselves to ensuring that we can lift this country from the situation in which we find ourselves, then the sky is the limit.
5. Strong communication skills. Her public speaking and presentation skills, honed through her pageant and political careers, would serve her well in representing Nigeria on the global stage.
My dear sister, I haven't heard any negative comment from the floor, but I'd like to ask you a question. You've had an experience as an ambassador. Very recently, I sent a delegation to Chad, and they came back and said that the Nigerian embassy in Chad, the building is in very deplorable condition. And I was in Ghana this week, and the same complaint. They have a land that they would like to build their embassy structure on, and many other places, Kenya, everywhere. People are complaining that the structures hosting the embassies are in terrible conditions. If you are confirmed by this Senate to go into that ministry, will you focus on trying to rehabilitate, to give Nigeria a better image in terms of the structures of the various embassies worldwide? After that, you can take a bow.
Thank you very much, distinguished senators. I would like to say that my past records speak for me. As ambassador to the Kingdom of Spain, I spent an entire year in one hotel room, because when I got to Spain, the mission building was in such an appalling condition. Together with very dedicated officers, we conducted the massive renovation works, not just on the mission building itself, giving Nigeria an edifice truly deserving of a nation of its standing. The Nigerian embassy in Madrid that you see today is a product of my tenure in that country. And what was particularly sad about the previous state of the building was that it was very, very close to the Estadio Bernabeu, which is the home of Real Madrid Football Club. So it was such an eyesore that people who were going to the stadium for the various matches would pass the embassy building in its decadent state. But today, the Nigerian embassy in Spain is a magnificent building. Not only that, the residence of the ambassador was also given a facelift, and other buildings belonging to our country within that kingdom. It is true that in most missions, because of the poor funding, most ambassadors are constrained when it comes to carrying out refurbishment and renovation works, and this is quite unfortunate because a lot of the embassies are actually going through this situation. And I believe that not only does our Ministry of Foreign Affairs have to prioritize ensuring that missions abroad actually reflect the true magnitude of Nigeria's standing in the Committee of Nations. It is very, very important because this is what will give our nation the much needed respect to carry out diplomatic functions in a building that does not truly reflect the true standing of any country is very, very limiting. And this has, to a large extent, diminished our standing around the world. And I think that this is something that the government, under this president, in view of the 4 tenets of the foreign policy thrust, which is democracy, development, diaspora, and of course, looking at the fact that most of the people who have to come abroad, especially many of you from these hallowed chambers who have to come for exchanges, study tours, etc., will be hosted in those buildings. It is imperative that when you are on those exchanges and you have to meet your compatriots and you also have to meet your colleagues in the host countries, that these meetings are done in respectable surroundings. Thank you, sir.
Is it the view of the Senate that this nominee be allowed to take a bow and leave? Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes are. Thank you. You may now take a bow.
Six, connection to Igbo heritage, as the widow of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu.
Going to run for office again.
Oh, forgive me.
Yes.
Wait and see. Okay? Wait and see.
Thank you.
I am a young man.
She deeply understands the Igbo people's experiences and perspectives, which could inform her approach to foreign policy and diplomacy. 7. Multilingual. She may speak multiple languages, including Igbo, English, and possibly Spanish from her time as ambassador to Spain. 8. Network and connections. Her years in politics and diplomacy have likely built a robust network of international contacts and relationships. 9. Intelligence and poise. She has demonstrated intelligence, poise, and grace throughout her public life, essential qualities for a foreign affairs minister. 10. Passion for Nigeria. Her commitment to Nigeria's well-being and global standing is evident in her past endeavors and public statements. Keep in mind that this is a hypothetical scenario, and the suitability of an individual for a ministerial position depends on various factors, including their current expertise, political context, and the specific needs of the role.
Stop the scavengers. We are going to stop completely the profiteers and smugglers of our resources across the country. We are not going to run away from our responsibility. We are going to face it, and we've been facing it headlong. With you as a member of this team, I will be proud, and I am proud and honored that I'm leading you, and we will lead you to success and prosperity. All I can say is, welcome. Welcome aboard. This ship will not sink. God bless you, and God bless Nigeria.